All right, guys, we recently had some really bad weather. A severe storm system came through, bringing torrential rains, high winds, tornadoes. There was loss of life, there were injuries, there was property damage, and so I wanted to show you some videos from places around where I live to let you know how it went. And yeah, a lot of water. Just a lot of water can move big things, and this was really crazy. The floodwaters destroyed this church parking lot that had been resurfaced just a short time ago. So I was trying to get home that day, and I had an idea maybe I could not get home, so I did my best. And I drove through some areas I probably should not have driven through, but I really wanted to get home because my wife was there by herself, and I knew things were flooding at the house. Yeah, a lot of water. So I started driving down my road, which was flooded, and I waited until it went down a little bit, and I started driving in the dark, and I came across this tree that was across the road, and I did not have a chainsaw with me, so I had to come back the next day. I actually spent the night in town at my office, and the next day I came out, and they were working on the power lines, and as I got to my house, my driveway, I saw they were working on my bridge. The flooding had gone over my bridge and over my mailbox and swept my mailbox away. And there's a metal plate on my bridge that covers a little hole. And the waters had moved the metal plate away from where it was supposed to be. So my neighbors had brought the tractor down and they got out and they were working on getting the metal plate back where it should be. That's good neighbors right there. But here is my property. The water had lifted up out of the creek and lifted up that big old tree trunk and root system right out of the creek. Now that creek is usually about maybe a couple of feet deep in some areas. And you can see where the rising waters and everything pushed that fence line down. And just, I mean, there used to be a fence right there and it's just laid down like it was nothing. And so anyway, there it is. That's how big that root is that was lifted up out of the creek into my yard. And so this is where I used to park my truck, right under that tree. And that branch came down. If I had been home, it would have fallen right on my truck and just destroyed my truck. So that's a pretty good sized limb that broke down out of the tree. And I'm glad my truck was not there. So this is what the floodwaters looked like at one point. This is what my yard normally looks like. So that gives you an idea of how much water there was that came up out of the creek. I normally say that's some good stuff, and I think because we all were safe and very little damage, I will say that's some good stuff.